Hey, alright, so, today's Friday, January 21st, and, it's my birthday. I'm 2 years on testosterone. Yeah, pretty much right to the dot. I mean, it's about 12:30 now, so, wow, 2 years. I thought I would just kind of highlight the important changes and all that sort of nonsense. Um, yeah, I mean, I've done it in pretty much like all my comparison videos, but I figure I'll give kind of like a synopsis of the order in which things went. First went my voice. Around 3 to 4 months it really dropped. I mean, I've got an Adam's apple. You can kind of see it. It's hard to see in this lighting, but I do have an Adam's apple, and whew, I like it. I like it a lot. And I think my voice has kind of gotten to the lowest that it's gonna go. So when I go to my highest, which is like, hey, like, I mean, that's pretty much as high as I can go. And then my lowest, which is like, hey. I think that's kind of my range from now on. Especially with singing, I've just been kind of like, you know, strapped there. So, what else? But I still am singing, so that is good. So after that, it was kind of the whole body hair thing. I mean, we've got, you know, I thought I had a lot of body hair originally, but we've got my stomach hair, which is just like the miracle of stomach hair there. It's like a little happy forest. I do have chest hair, but I shaved it off. Shaved it off because of the scar strips. They would just like peel off. So this is what my chest looks like. Looking pretty good. And yes, I am aware that I still have a little bit of hips there. There's nothing that you can do about hips, really. However, I've lost a lot of fat that comes from the sides right here. Like my leg fat all migrated here. And I kind of have like an indent in where my hip bones are. So, I mean, I kind of like that. That's cool. I understand that up here I can't really do much of the fact that my hips go out to here, and like, whereas my body goes in here. I mean, there's really not much I can do. I'm gonna start working out more in this new year. And get things kind of going. So besides body hair, I mean, I've got leg hair. It goes up my back a little bit, not too much, but you know, I got lots of leg hair, lots of armpit hair. I mean, not much facial hair, but that's okay. I don't really mind too much about that. What was the next thing I really noticed? Muscles. Muscles took a while. I didn't really notice a big difference until this past summer when I was about 1.5 years on T, and I started really working out. That's when I saw a big difference. So I'll actually post pictures of my workout progress right here. So yeah, now you can see that working out made a big difference there. What else? What else is there? Okay, so besides that, it's really kind of, you know, I mean, as for moods, I guess moods kind of switched pretty fast. I didn't really get angry or really irritable, but I was never really angry or irritable before hormones, so I think that's kind of why. That I'm still a pretty mellow guy about that whole sort of thing. And, so, I mean, yeah, I couldn't cry for about the first year, a little over a year on testosterone. It's just like, it wouldn't happen. It didn't work. And not that I've cried recently, but I felt like I could cry. So, for some guys, they legitimately can't on hormones, and I feel like I could now. So, that, I kind of like that, because sometimes you need a good cry, like, I mean, come on. So, that's kind of nice, and I'm really glad that I didn't get to be like all angry and stuff. And also, a lot of people have been asking me, they're like, I don't want to go on hormones and get all beefy and like manly and stuff. And it's like, well, you know, you have to work out a lot in order to get beefy. Like, I've worked out a decent amount, and I'm still just like this lean, scrawny, if we want to say that, kind of guy. So, so you know. It really just depends. You have to put work into it. Like, you aren't gonna turn into this like Hulk machine of testosterone raging hormones unless that's what you want. You know, that's just not the way it works. Like, it's very subtle. And unless you're injecting way too much, then I bet that could happen. Like, if I like had triple or even double the dose that I do, which is 50 milligrams once a week, then it would just be like, ugh. Like I'm sure. So I'm sure things like that probably have happened. But I'm really happy with the fact that my changes were, they were gradual. They weren't slow. They were gradual, and I'm very content with that. So that's good. And as for dysphoria, well, my chest dysphoria is gone. Society sees me completely as male, and looking in the mirror and looking at myself, I actually don't even think that's me sometimes. So that's kind of dysphoric a little bit, because I don't, like, this is me, like, all of a sudden my body switched to match me, and it's just, like, almost unbelievable. It's really just almost, I don't even understand it. I just feel so good, most of the time. I mean, I'm still a little dysphoric, because it would have been much better to have been born male. I wouldn't have chosen to be transgender, obviously. It's not a choice you make. So, whereas, like, in a heartbeat, if I could switch to have been born male, but still have the same soul and personality and everything else, like, if all this had just happened when I was born, except as, like, a little baby, and I could grow up naturally without having to do hormones, and be exactly the same, then, like, yeah, I definitely would have taken that route. But all in all, like, I'm so thankful that they have testosterone and that people can transition, because for me, it really kind of was life or death. I mean, I wasn't able to live in my body. Like, there are things about my body I still don't like right now, but I've gotten, like, I'm never gonna be what I had hoped, like, when I was born and before I went through puberty, growing up to be a boy. That will never happen to, like, the exact note that I wanted it to. However, my transition and top surgery and hormones, and I'm going to be getting a hysterectomy hopefully within the next year or so, all of that has brought me closer to being, like, society sees me as male. That's great. Like, I didn't even need to have chest surgery for that to happen. Like, I didn't need to, there's a lot of things that I didn't need to do in order for that to happen. Even taking hormones, like, I passed, like, in society okay before that, but what hormones have done is it's, like, kind of given me more of a connection between my mind and my body. And although, like, although I don't recognize my body as 100% male because I live in it, and I know its flaws better than anyone else, I am much more content with that, and I feel like I can live in this shell, this is a shell, really, for the rest of my life, and, like, be okay with that. Whereas if I hadn't transitioned, if I had been, like, it would just be easier to stay female, identify as female, like, I absolutely would have been trapped. Like, I would not have be the person that I am today. And out of everything in my transition, I think that this mindset that I've gotten out of it, this the patience, the education, the empathy, the sympathy, the just striving for something, like, working so hard for something that's gonna make me feel good, has made me a better person, because now I can understand, like, other people's struggles in a way, depending on the struggle. So anyway, and I also just, like, I don't know, it created this certain, like, feeling about myself where, like, I'm okay with a lot of things. Like, I'm just okay. It's okay, like, everything's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be good, because now I kind of know that anything's possible in a way, So, anyway, so this went from being about changes to being about how, being testosterone, being transgender, has been, like, a journey, not something I would have chosen, but, I definitely think that I've made, like, it and myself, like, the best that I possibly could. And it doesn't stop here. It does not stop here. So it'll keep going on, and, yeah, yeah, so it's gonna keep going. But anyway, other than that, what other changes did I forget? Did I mention facial hair and how I don't really have any, but neither does my brother? Or he just started getting it. He's 2 years older than me, just started getting it. So maybe in about a year or two, we can expect to see some substantial growth here. My hairline receded. I've got a much more masculine hairline. I'm currently combating baldness as we speak. My hair started really shedding this past summer. Really shedding. A lot of guys experience the starting of balding within the first few years on testosterone. And if you don't, then you're probably going to be all set for the future. However, mine was just, like, falling out. There was, like, a few spots where I didn't even want to like look at it. So currently combating that. Taking lots of multivitamins, like I do anyway, but taking biotin, which is a B vitamin for it. I'm also taking finasteride, which my doctor prescribed for it. I am aware of the things that DHT does and how blocking it can prevent some changes in trans men. There's not really any concern for like cis men out there, but for trans men, it can prevent certain things. Like they say it might prevent facial hair, say it might prevent like other things, but I've personally had enough of other changes that it supposedly encourages and prevents, being the 2 years on testosterone that I am, that having taken finasteride for the last 4 months hasn't really prevented any changes from happening, and it hasn't like taken away any changes. So as for facial hair, it blocking facial hair, it supposedly just makes it grow in slower, and I'd rather have head hair than facial hair at this point, so I'm not too worried about it. So before anyone jumps on the whole like finasteride, like DHT thing, I've done my research about everything, so I know. Don't worry about it. And yeah, so I'm happy about my hair, growing back and not balding. I've heard guys say that like balding would be a real deal breaker for them with testosterone and everything. So I don't know if I started going, if I ended up being bald, like would I regret taking testosterone? Probably not. I'd probably just be like a really angry bald dude. I mean, that's probably what would happen. I mean, I wouldn't be too angry. Like, whatever. Like, everyone kind of goes bald eventually anyway. So I'll just wait till later in my life, So anyway, 2 years on testosterone. Not very succinct in my changes there, but hopefully you lasted this far, I guess. Check out my comparison video. Check it out. It's my ruler. Oh, that's another thing. I haven't grown in height. I am 5'6'7", a little over 5'7" if we want to stretch it a little bit. And I've been that way. I think maybe I've increased about a half an inch, but that wasn't because of testosterone. That was probably just because of working out in yoga. Yoga can really make you taller, I swear. And as for how weight goes, I started out my transition at 133 pounds. A year into my transition, I was about 145. That was after entering college and all that. Immediately post-op, I dropped down to about 130, which is why I'm all like frail and like post-op, because I lost so much weight from that. But then I got back up to about 145, with regular eating and all that stuff. And now I've lost weight, so I'm about down to like 138 on average, 138, 139. So for my height, that's like perfect. I'm in a great zone, not underweight. I'm a skinny guy, but I'm not underweight, and I'm not, overweight. And I'm just like around average. So that's pretty good. So overall, I've only gained about 5 pounds total in my transition, like 5 or 6 pounds, which is good because a lot of guys gain about 15 pounds within the first year. So you just gotta watch that. You gotta watch that because it increases your appetite. Like I eat so much now, but I also am like running around all the time, so it's okay. I balance it out. But man, am I like a hungry kid? I'm actually really hungry right now, so I'm gonna go get some food, go make a sandwich or something. It's gonna be good. All right. I'm going to conclude this here because it's 13 minutes long, and I hope everyone's doing well, and thank you for watching my 2-year journey. Go watch my comparison video, of course, and yeah, I'm still going to keep making videos. I have a few lined up, a few topics that I'm going to be doing, and then sounds good. Moving back into college tomorrow. Life is going good. Life goes. Keep on keeping on. I hope everyone's doing well, and thank you so much for watching and supporting me and all of that. I really appreciate it. Every single one of you. Every single one. Seriously. I read every comment, whether or not I respond to it, and just like, unless they're negative, which we won't talk about, there's people out there, but all the nice comments, like, you guys just, like, it makes me really happy. So, just thought I'd say that. Alright, peace out.